Dustin Poirier, the former UFC interim lightweight champion, and Justin Gaethje, the former UFC interim lightweight champion. Fellas, thank y'all for joining me. How y'all doing?
Good. Selling tickets.
So, Dustin, I'm looking at you too, and Gaethje still kind of looks like he's getting into camp. You look like you hard at work already, like in shape. Face looks thin. Did you expect the fight to be sooner or something?
Nah, I just had a while. I had a long layoff, so I just been working. But yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm between sessions right now. We working, man.
What about you, JG?
You call me fat?
I'm not calling you fat.
I got a black eye already.
Yeah, I'm saying he got a black eye. You still look fresh faced. You look the same as you do when you walk onto the golf course in your free time.
That's because I got my nutritionist. She's been there for a long time now. I'm trying not to get fat in between fights anymore. I'm too old for that shit.
All right, fellas, talk me through the process. How did this fight come together? And I heard that you guys are going to fight a long time. I heard that they wanted you guys to fight in Vancouver, which is the next pay-per-view coming up. Why didn't it happen then? And what was the process of getting you two together in Utah and having the BMF title on the line for it? Justin, you go first.
Did you say Justin or Dustin? I didn't even...
Dustin.
Yeah, the Vancouver thing, we were talking about it with the UFC. It never really, a contract never came through. It never materialized. And then whenever Oliveira got hurt, they switched that to the co-main spot under Amanda Nunes, and they kind of stopped talking about it with me. Then they brought this date up to me, and it worked for me because my daughter's out of school, so I can do a training camp with my family, for most of the training.
And what about you, JG?
Yeah, I mean, coming off the fight in June, when they called me for June, I was like, that's a little bit too soon, Still took a couple weeks to kind of recuperate. That dude was super fast, kicked a lot. He needed my arms to heal up, so I, had to take a little time before I got back to training. And so I told him I wanted to push it out a little bit in July 29th, especially main event pay-per-view for such a prestigious title. I mean, it was a no-brainer.
When I look at you two are, and the excitement around the fight announcement shows why you two should be fighting for the BMF title. When you talk about the BMF championship, was that something that was brought to you guys initially? If it was in Vancouver, or was this something that kind of became reality when you were going to main event and fighting in Salt Lake City? And what does that belt even mean to you two after watching Diaz and Masvidal fight for it the first time?
For Vancouver, I never heard anything about the BMF title, but when they started talking about main eventing a show in Salt Lake, they brought it up. And to me, man, DC, the track record me and this guy have of entertaining fights and fight of the year contenders, it just makes sense. This is like a fighter's fight, This is the hardcore fans are going to tune in for this. So I know the BMF title isn't the undisputed title, but it's still fun for me. It makes sense with who I'm fighting and our history in the sport. So let's go. Yeah, I mean, it's a prestigious title. I mean, only one guy's ever won it. Jorge Masvidal, a legend, a vet in the game. You're going to find past interviews of me kind of being a little bit critical of the BMF title, but, as we come along and as I get put in a position to fight for it, you really understand how prestigious this championship is and what it actually means. And with it comes, a shot at the undisputed title. It's a beautiful belt. It's going to look great next to our to one of our UFC belts.
It's always something until it's you fighting for it now. Now all of a sudden you want to change your tune whenever you talking all kind of crazy shit before, huh? Like you want to change your tune a little bit.
I mean, you can't put yourself in those shoes until you're there. And yeah, I mean, again, with it being so prestigious, I mean, you don't want to say it's even more prestigious than the UFC title, but it actually is. I mean, nobody's fighting for this. It takes the resume. Resume of Dustin Poirier, resume of Justin Gaethje, and of course it's going to headline a main event.
What'd you say, Dustin? What did you say?
The perfect storm. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
I don't know how many moving forward. I don't know how many more times this belt's going to be brought up or fought for, but when two guys like me and Justin or like Nate and Masvidal meet up, I think it makes sense.
So last time we did this, Dustin, you were very, very frustrated with Michael Chandler. And you guys were kind of going back and forth. You and Justin Gaethje seem to have the utmost respect for each other. Where was that found at? Like, where did this respect come from? Was it just in the fight, or was it watching from afar also? Because as the guy that won, DP, you got to feel pretty good about your prospects of winning this fight the second time. But where did this respect come for Justin Gaethje?
It came from spending over 20 minutes in an octagon with him, bleeding, you know. But yeah, and I'm a fan of his. Anytime he fights, I'm going to watch. You know, he's the kind of fighter I like to watch. He puts it all on the line every time. And those are the kind of fights that I want to be involved in. So that's why this fight's exciting to me. But, you know, I've ran into Justin a few times since we fought, and he's always been straight up, you know. The thing with Chandler was because I think he's fake, but Justin seems real to me.
Yeah, he is. What separates Dustin Poirier Justin from the other guys that you have fought? Like when you think about the rematch with Dustin Poirier, what stood out in the octagon from that night way back in the day that was the first time you ever lost a fight, right, JG? Was Dustin Poirier?
I lost the only right before that, yeah. No, it was a great learning experience. I mean, tons of respect for the dude that, you know, he's a dog, and what he's done to McGregor in the last couple of fights was super impressive, and you know, I always love to see that dude get broken. So this guy's a dog, and you know, I know I'm gonna have to be perfect. I know that there's no need for animosity. We're two of the best, most violent athletes in the sport. We both love what we do. We both love the carnage, and we're both content with what we're about to put ourselves through. It's all preparation. He's super confident. I'm super confident coming off this last win. And again, this card is stacked. It's going to be an electric night.
Look, Daniel, I know what you want. You want us to sit here and talk back and forth. Look, these kind of fights don't need that. You know what you're getting. Hey, what's understood don't need to be explained. 25 minutes of something nasty is going to happen July 29th. And we both know that. You know that. Everybody clicking pay-per-view buy knows that. Let's go, man.
No, I get it, DP. I get that you don't need to sell, right? And we have seen pay-per-views do well without the sell. But Justin, you just said something very, very important. You said perfect. I have to be perfect.
100%.
Does perfect even exist inside of an octagon? Perfect doesn't exist inside of an octagon. Does that come with a lot of pressure because you fought him before knowing, man, I can't make any of the mistakes I made before. Therefore, I got to try to be perfect inside the octagon, and that don't exist.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that fight was 5 years ago. That is not even a factor. It won't be a factor July 29th. I'm not the same guy. He's not the same guy. Again, I need to be more perfect than him. I need to make less mistakes than him. I need to capitalize on the mistakes that he makes. Of course, you're not perfect in a fight, but ultimately, it's up to me to take advantage of the mistakes that he makes and make mistakes. And that's the name of this game. You know, high-level fights, two guys with the skills that we possess, you know, you have to be perfect.
DP, how perfect were you in 2018? And how close to perfect do you have to be in order to beat this guy? This Justin Gaethje that we see today, that got through Rafael even the way that he did, that got through Michael Chandler in the way that he did, how close to perfect do you feel you have to be in the octagon? And do you feel like you fought the perfect fight last time you fought it?
No, I made a lot of mistakes last time. Nobody, like we just said, nobody's perfect. We're chasing it. Every time we want to show improvement, we're chasing it, but nobody's perfect. You know, and not in this game. Well, maybe Ernesto Hoost, maybe he's perfect. But other than that, nobody's perfect. And like he said, this is a completely different fight. This is 5 years. We both had our ups and downs. We both learned a lot, put a lot of camps in, have great teams. This is a completely different fight. So I watched the previous fight with my team when I got in Florida. I'm not going to watch it again. You know,
really?
I'm not going to watch it again. Nah, there's no reason to. There's no reason.
When you watch him today, though, do you see that much of a difference? Because when we watch him inside the octagon, Justin Gaethje back then was getting fight of the night every single time because of his fighting style. And today he still is fighting in the same regard, just maybe a little smarter and still collecting those bonus checks. So how much has he really changed over the course of this 5 years?
He's definitely added some footwork to his game. He's using his jab a lot more. He's moving laterally a lot more. He's not standing directly in front of somebody, covering up high like he was doing before. This is talking about his last fight, you know. But I still see that same dog every time he goes out. That's why he's winning these bonuses, like you say. He's going out there to leave it all on the line, finish you or get finished every time out. That's why he's getting these bonuses. But he has added a lot of new wrinkles to his game with his footwork, his defense, his jab, setting his combinations up, you know, a lot of things. Even saw him throw a high kick in this last fight.
JG, where has he improved over the last 5 years? What do you see in Dustin Poirier outside? He's much bigger physically, when he steps into the octagon today? Where else has he improved inside the octagon when you watch?
It's the natural evolution of the athlete. I mean, he's gonna evolve, especially with the big fights that we're both in. You have no choice but to go in there, especially with the teams that we have. I mean, our coaches are constantly trying to teach us and correct things and break bad habits. No matter how long you do this, you're gonna have bad habits, and you've got to work on. We got 8 weeks from Saturday to work on confidence and to work on all that. So, I mean, I think he's a dog. He was a dog then. He's a dog now. He's just a more confident and more refined and more a better athlete in general. And the wins, the losses, all the ups and downs that we faced is just part of the game, and it teaches us to grow, and it teaches us to control emotions more. So I think that we're both more capable of being a more controlled killer, if you want to say.
So Justin, with all that being said, and you, Dustin, you guys have both had ups and downs, something that you both mentioned the entire time. Both have held UFC gold. Both have also fought against the UFC gold. Is this BMF championship an opportunity to propel you into that one last run at trying to get to the top? Because I know ultimately that you two guys both still have championship aspirations. Dustin?
100%. I think this is a number one contender fight for sure. I don't think we jump over Beneil if he wins, but I think we're next in line.
And over Charles Oliveira, right? Because him and Islam just fought, like whoever wins this fight should get the Islam fight, considering it's a new matchup. Or at least that's what I would imagine.
That's what I would imagine too. But you know how this is, man. If it's not in writing on contract, we just take it one day at a time.
And Justin, do you feel like this BMF championship makes it easier for you to say, hey, I'm next for a title fight? Because now you've won 2 in a row, and if you win this one, that'll be 3 in a row, and that would warrant a championship fight, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean these rankings are for a reason. They might not be as legit as we think they are, but he's number 2, I'm number 3, number 1 fight number 4, and the champion needs someone to fight. I think if Darius wins, he's gonna fight in October, and the winner of that fight will fight the winner of this fight.
Do you feel?
And if Oliveira loses, then yeah, I think one of us is going to be right back in the camp.
Right back in the camp. Justin, you have said recently that you're kind of making one last run at this thing. Is Utah, July 29th, a do or die for you? Or do you ever look at things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't consider like, obviously I'm planning on winning, but even, I don't want to put myself in a position where I got to think that if I lose, but I wouldn't imagine the fire's not gone. When I talk in those hyperboles, I'm talking about the future, and I'm talking about the reality of the situation. I'm 35 fights into a career. I'm 34 years old. There's plenty of examples of going too long, and I have people around me that love me that are gonna prevent that, and I trust them. And when they want to have that conversation, I'll listen to it. But for right now, we're full steam ahead. I mean, this is a lifelong journey, a lifelong just work. I've been working for so long. We've both been working for so long, and yeah, this is a fun ride. I thank God every day for the journey that I've been on, for the opportunity to inspire the world through winning or losing. And so yeah, I'm excited for another opportunity to go out there and put it on the line.
In DP, there's no thoughts of the end for you at this point in your career, no, right?
I try not to focus on it. I mean, I know it's coming. It's inevitable. Father Time is undefeated, but I've been, like Justin said, I've been fighting a long time. This is my 47th mixed martial arts fight, and we'll see. I don't look that far, one fight at a time. After July 29th, we assess the situation and take it from there. But I still feel great, man. My body feels good. My mind feels good. I still love what I do. So as long as that's there, I'm still here.
Boys, how does the fight end on July 29th? Dustin, can you finish this guy again? A guy that doesn't really get finished. And Justin, how do you change the outcome from the first time? Because the stakes are high in this one. It's more than just the belt. Because whoever wins this one really does prove who is one of the toughest son of a guns on the entire planet.
I can finish him again, 100%. I can finish anybody in the world at 155 pounds. I just have to be in the right mental space, ready to perform. It's 25 minutes to get it done. And July 29th, bro, I'm going to be brilliant in there, man. I'm telling you.
What'd you ask me?
I just asked you, how do you flip the result?
Yeah, I mean, every fight is its own time. That was 5 years ago. I do not believe that is a factor. I won't watch that fight. The UFC made me watch it the other day, and it's a fun fight to watch. But like I said, I felt like an idiot, and but that's a challenge that we're facing every time. Every fight is so different. I fought Oliveira like an idiot. That was 2 fights ago. I fought the last fight perfect. I fought the fight before Oliveira perfect against Chandler. So it's just every one of these is a different circumstance, a different time, and it's all that. It's 25 minutes on July 29th. That's all that matters. What's gonna happen? I don't know. I'm preparing for 25 minutes of hell because I know I'm fighting a dog, and I know that I'll never quit on myself, and he knows that. And so I'm sure we're both going to be as prepared as we possibly can.
Guys, you got 2 of the toughest men walking God's green earth fighting for the BMF championship on July 29th. But it does not stop there. This pay-per-view card is absolutely stacked, from these guys fighting to the co-main event, all the way down to the fight that starts the card. UFC 291 is going to be an absolute banger from Salt Lake City. But all you got to do, guys, is look at the marquee. And when you see Dustin Poirier and when you see Justin Gaethje, you hit the buy button, because these dudes guarantee fireworks. Fellas, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys tapping in. And good luck, man, in training camp. Stay healthy, because I could not imagine going to Salt Lake City and not getting to watch you 2 guys.
Hey, calm down, calm down.
Hey, hey, Poirier's from Louisiana, so he throwing salt over his shoulder. He knocking on wood. He doing everything. I hope y'all want to stay healthy, man, because July 29th is going to be amazing. Thank y'all for joining me, fellas.